All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a announcement I'm going to make, or I guess I have some news I'm going to break here coming up at the start of the next segment. And you've got weirdness happening on mainstream media, live television, where they're openly doing satanic symbolism, and then they cut away to some like weird satanic cult event. So it's all happening as if it's not enough when they do their groundbreaking for tunnels in Europe, and it's just a giant satanic pagan exercise and sacrificing all the children at Planned Parenthood and, you know, all the good satanic stuff we endure every day. Now I guess it's just going to come out in the open now. I guess they're just not going to hide it. But first, here is the latest report from Greg Reese. Yeah, there it is. Here's Greg Reese's report.
Anomaly recently had an Instagram Live with several Aussies speaking out about the tyrannical lockdowns in Australia. People aren't allowed to travel more than 5 kilometers from their home. People who live alone were once allowed further to briefly visit a friend, but no longer. Now they can only register a single person within 5 kilometers of their home. Within that 5 kilometers, they are only allowed outside of their home for 2 hours a day. And when they are out, they need permission. They are required to scan QR codes with their phones to show where they've been. There are only 3 permissible reasons to leave your home: to exercise or to go shopping, if there is a shop within your 5K bubble, or go to work. That is, if you still have a job. Most shops have been shut down in Australia for over 200 days, and in many areas, people cannot go to work unless they get the shot. If you are caught outside without an excuse, you are arrested. If you are not wearing a mask while alone in your car, you are pulled over by the police. The Premier of Australia recently said that this is literally a war.
But it's really, really important for us to acknowledge and accept that we need vaccination as a key tool in fighting this. This is literally a war, and we've known we've been in a war for some time, but never to this extent.
And seeing that only 0.032% have been infected, we know that the Premier isn't declaring war against COVID. That would be insane. She is declaring war against the people, and she isn't joking. Girls as young as 12 years old are getting pepper sprayed and arrested by the police for not wearing masks. In 2020, Australian citizens were being arrested for questioning the government online. Now, they are being arrested for questioning the government in their own homes. After being reported to the police by his wife for questioning the government, an Australian man was taken against his will in an ambulance to a prison-like facility, where he was questioned, told he has had a nervous breakdown, and diagnosed as having a problem trusting authority. They are building concentration camps. Melbourne's Centre for National Resilience is set to open by the end of the year. They call them quarantine camps, but this makes no sense, considering only 0.032% of the population is infected. By definition, these are concentration camps. And they're coming to America next. Australia lost their guns because they never had the Bill of Rights to protect them. America does. But for how long?
What do you think people need to know? Anything that you think hasn't been said or that people really need to know?
In America?
In America, yeah.
We need you guys. It doesn't matter if Joe Biden's in the White House at this point in time. You guys are the leaders of the free world, and everyone is looking to you. You know, Australia, it's do or die. We've got China on our doorstep. And the thing is, if you guys don't find out who you are, if you don't remember what made America great, we're all screwed.
For Infowars.com, this is Greg Reese.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, August 20th, 2021. This is the InfoWars War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com, streaming live at band.video, freeworldnews.tv, warroomisraw.com, and InfoWars-band.video on Rumble. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer, with you for the next 3 hours. We have guests joining us today. Joe Biggs' attorney, Joe Biggs, a political prisoner being tortured in jail right now because of the big lie of January 6th. His attorney, Dan Hall, is going to be joining me coming up in the next segment. Then we're going to go down to Australia, and Evelyn Ray is going to give us the latest updates on what's happening there. It's really bad. It's really bad. So we'll have her on. And then Jesse Lee Peterson in the third hour is going to be with us as well. All right, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. A couple hours ago, I was informed by my attorney that there is a warrant out for my arrest with allegations involving January 6th. And I will have to turn myself in Monday morning. There's a lot of questions. Some I have answers to, some I don't. I'm not going to be getting into more of this today on the air. And I plan on declaring innocence of these charges because I am. And so there's some other stuff going on too. But that's the deal. And so I'm not gonna comment any further on this. I'm not gonna take any questions on this today. But again, I was informed by my lawyer that there's a warrant out for my arrest right now and that I have to turn myself in by Monday morning. So that's just that. Probably shouldn't even be on air right now, but we're going to go ahead and do a broadcast anyway because there's a bunch of news to cover. And ironically enough, one of the big stories today that was going around that broke on Reuters this morning, FBI finds scant evidence U.S. Capitol attack was coordinated. Yeah, no kidding, because there is no evidence because it wasn't, except maybe by the FBI. Maybe we should be investigating the feds. Maybe you'd find some evidence there. But yeah, all the phones they've seized, all the emails they've gone through. I mean, just for months, they've been combing through anything possible. And of course, they found no evidence because it wasn't coordinated. Nobody thought that that was going to happen on January 6th, except maybe Nancy Pelosi and Muriel Bowser and the feds that were involved and the Capitol Police that were involved, because they're the ones that did it. They're the ones that stood down. They're the ones that refused security. And then the police waved the people into the building. It's all on tape. It's all on record. And then we have to play this game. And the media has to play this game like, oh, wow, they didn't find any evidence that January 6th was coordinated. Wow, oh. Wow, we had no idea. Like, oh, man, oh. We faked the whole thing and lied about it, and the Democrats stood down security intentionally, and the police waved them into the building, and the media lied about all of it, and we lied about the death and everything, and wow, we didn't find any evidence of the lie that we told. Wow, shocking. But see, this is why it's actually even worse, because they're admitting what their tactic is. They're admitting what their procedure is. What did the old communists say? Show me the man and I'll find a crime. That's what they've been doing to Donald Trump. It's what they tried to do to Roger Stone and many other people. So imagine we now live in a period of time where they can manufacture an event, have the media go along with it, and then harass thousands of Americans and quote unquote search for evidence of the crime that they manufactured. This is so criminal. This is so illegal. This is the death of justice. I mean, in fact, most people don't even understand one of the main reasons why O.J. Simpson walked away was because it was found that evidence was tampered with and they were trying to manufacture a scene of the crime. It's like, as soon as you do that, it's game over, no matter what is on the tape. But They get to manufacture all of it in the news. They get to manufacture all of it with the FBI like they did in Michigan. They get to manufacture all of it with the Capitol Police standing down. They get to manufacture all of it with the mayor standing down and Pelosi standing down. And then they go out knowing they coordinated the event, knowing that they manufactured the whole thing, and then they go out and search for evidence of the event, of the alleged crimes that they committed. You look at Australia and what's going on there with the medical tyranny, and we have to understand that's all of our fate. You look at what's happening to Joe Biggs, and you have to understand that that is all of our fate. And let me just tell you this. In fact, I mean, I'll go to these clips now. Folks, devil-worshipping cults run the planet. Okay? It's time to just get real about this. The people that run Hollywood are Satanists. People that run our government are Satanists. A lot of mainstream media people are Satanists. So that's why you look around at all this and none of it makes sense. And there's all the inversion and there's all the lying and there's all the backstabbing and there's all the degeneracy. And you just say, well, none of this makes sense. No, it all makes sense once you realize that Satanists are running the thing. It makes perfect sense. So, I mean, I'll just go to these videos now. Here is on ABC. You'll notice something. The news clip that we're going to play here seems to be normal, seems to be going swimmingly. And then tell me if you notice anything odd that happens about midway through this news clip. Here it is.
Queensland Parliament. The state government announced the proposed legislation today. It's in part due to the stabbing of a police dog during an arrest in Brisbane last year. Recent outages have shown how just one...
What? The hell was that? Middle of an ABC broadcast in Australia, they play a Hail Satan clip from, I mean, you make what you want of this image. I mean, it looks like, I guess a satanic cult is meeting in like a basement cafeteria somewhere.
Seems you've been putting us to shame.
So that's the headline today. Satanists that run the world reveal themselves on live TV. And you have this clip. I mean, again, what do you make of this? It just looks like a satanic cult in a basement. How does that get onto ABC News? And then you have this, which is, I don't know who these people are. It's John Legend and someone else. And she just in the middle of a live TV segment, she does the Baphomet hand symbolism. Well-trained, does it, and then realizes, oh, I'm on live TV. I shouldn't have done it. Check this out. Folks, they've been revealing themselves forever. They've been revealing themselves in the satanic Super Bowl rituals. They've been halftime shows. They've been revealing themselves with these weird rituals they do. It's all open now. All right, we're back here on the InfoWars War Room. We had Joe Biggs' lawyer joining us. He can no longer join us. So we will no longer be conducting that interview. All right. So we just showed you, I mean, I don't know how you explain ABC News playing what appears to be a satanic church gathering in the middle of a news broadcast. And then again, I don't know who that girl is next to John Legend on that TV promo that they were doing live, and she does the Baphomet hands. I don't even know like how I guess so she's clearly trained. She obviously knows how to do it. You can go look at Baphomet. This is what Baphomet's sitting doing this. And she does it on live TV, you know, because she's a badass. She's a Satanist. She's stealing your life force. Oh, but then she sees that she did it. Oops. I just showed that I'm a Satanist on live TV. Whoops. And you can see on her face, guys, restart the clip. And you can see on her face right after she does it, she's like, oh, oops. Okay, so here she's doing, and then boom, Baphomet, and then, oh, oops. Oh, shouldn't have done that. No, we know you're Satanists. No, we know you worship Satan. We know you worship the devil. We know who you are. It's not a secret. And so again, notice how they have the medical logo in there. Notice how Satan is a man with breasts. So again, you see all this stuff. Oh, men can get pregnant. Transgenderism. Medical tyranny. You're seeing all this stuff, folks. It's all Satanism. It's all Satanism. Satanists run the world. That's it. And until they don't run the world anymore, it's only going to get worse. There's no escaping these people. You may be able to find a safe haven for some period of time. You may be able to fight them off a little bit. We may be better off here in America than they are in Australia, but this is an authoritarian, totalitarian, satanic world government that's being built for all humans to end human freedom on planet Earth, and really to just end humanity would be the ultimate goal, because that's what it is. That's why all of this stuff is robbing you of your humanity. The mask, the forced vaccine, the degeneracy, the porn, the drug abuse, all of it. It's all Satanism, satanic cults of the world elite, bloodlines of the Illuminati, controlling the planet, bringing in their one world satanic government system. That's really it. Here, let me just do this. Joe Biden, this is, my goodness. Joe Biden is really just an absolute joke at this point. And we already knew they were staging questions. They've been caught staging questions. We've seen Joe Biden's little printout that he reads off of. They don't even try to hide it anymore. And now even mainstream news is reporting on the fact that they all staged the questions. So here's Joe Biden, just not even hiding it, reading the names and the questions right off the script. When a guy goes off the script, Joe Biden scolds him for going off the script and then ends the press conference. Here's the video.
Americans out, all our personnel at the embassy out, and so on. And thank God, so far, knock on wood, we're in a different position. Scott Detrow, Scott, NPR.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to follow up on something you said a moment ago. You said that there's no circumstances where American citizens cannot get to the airport. That doesn't really square with the images we're seeing around the airport, with the reporting on the ground from our colleagues who are describing chaos and violence. Are you saying unequivocally that any American who wants to get to the airport is getting there and getting past the security barrier and to the planes where they want to go?
I thought the question was, how can they get through to the airport outside the airport?
Yeah, he thought, because that's what he read off the paper. And then after that, they just conclude the press conference. And now even, I guess, non-satanic members of the mainstream news are starting to furrow their brow, say, what is going on here? How is this such a disaster? Yeah, Joe Biden didn't win an election. They stole the election. They put Joe Biden in as a puppet and as a show of weakness that America's done. America's dead. Look at your president. He's dead. He's fake. He can't do a press conference. He can't even come out of the basement. He doesn't even do... he goes off for a whole week as Afghanistan collapses because of a decision he made. And then they're told what questions that they can ask. And if they go off script, they just end the press conference. Yeah, folks, it's pretty bad. There is an awakening happening, though. And this is this how the mainstream media should be treated here in Clip 8 whenever we see them?
Lamestream media! Yes! Check them out! What are you guys not reporting on, huh? Look at this. CNN! What a joke! What a joke! Look at this. Look at this. CNN! Feed the sheep of the lies, CNN! You ain't gonna make it easy here. Nope. 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 Go somewhere else, CNN. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. Bye. Bye. CNN. Fake news right here. This is what perpetuates the lies. Are these people right here? Right here, these people are. Are you done? No, I'm not. Not at all. You got it. I'm not. You're not going to perpetuate lies from this building. Nope. Ain't going to happen. Bye, CNN. Bye. We can live with it. Yup. Okay. I know they are. I'm not going to let them. Y'all shouldn't let them either. Come on, let's go. Get it on here with your fake news. Fake news. Fake news. CNN's a joke. CNN's a joke. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. CNN's a joke. They lie to the sheep. They lie. People like this perpetuate the lie.
We're back live on the InfoWars War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. Evelyn Ray is with us. And, folks, you are seeing some of the incredible news and footage coming out of Australia. I've got some of the footage here we're going to air as well. And then headlines like this. Australian police arrest pepper spray 12-year-old girl for being in the grocery store without a mask. And then just so much stunning footage. Evelyn Ray with us now from Cauldron Pool. Evelyn, I'm just going to give you the floor to just give an update on everything that's going on and just, get some things off your chest, because I can't even imagine. I mean, every time I have you on, I'm like, wow, this is as bad as it gets. And then I'm like, okay, it's gotten worse. Get Evelyn back on.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me on. I hate coming on and not having better news for you guys. But sadly, every time I come on, we keep getting more and more taken from us. It was only yesterday that the Premier of New South Wales cracked down even harder. She's been threatening it for months. If you do not comply, I am not afraid to go harder and to restrict you even more. And all of us Australians are thinking, what more could the Australian government possibly take from us? They have taken almost everything. And I'm eating my words, because yesterday they took even more from us. They have told us that we're going to be locked down in our homes until the end of September now. And then who knows, that's probably going to be extended again, let's face it. We have curfews now for certain areas in New South Wales, 9 p.m. till 5 a.m. You're not allowed to leave your home. You have now indoor and outdoor mask mandates across the entire state, including farmers who live out in the bush. This is how utterly stupid it is. You have 1 hour, only 1 hour a day are you allowed to leave your home to exercise. We have vaccine mandates now by the 30th of August. Childcare workers, aged care workers, construction workers all have to have had the first jab at least. Construction workers have to have rapid antigen testing every single day if they want to leave their local government areas. And not only that, the government has now told us if we want to leave our home, even if it's for an essential reason, if we have to leave one of these local government areas, we have to go through the government to get a permit to travel within our own state, out of our own suburb. The government have to give us a piece of paper and say, yes, you are allowed to leave your home. Here is your permit. Here is the stamp. Off you go. And on top of this, what makes all of this even more difficult is yesterday, the government gave the police in Australia more powers to enforce this. So police in New South Wales now have the power to declare certain residences within New South Wales as residences of risk. And the police now are able to shut down entire blocks and apartments and units if they think that a COVID health risk needs to be assessed. Police now also have the ability to decide if someone can get quarantined or not, regardless if somebody has a negative COVID test result. If police find you outside of your local government area and they give you a fine for breaching the restrictions, they can now, by law, demand you to go back to your residence and quarantine for 14 days, even if you didn't come in contact with anyone with COVID, even if you have a negative COVID result. And this is coming across the whole of Australia, and you have neighbours still dobbing in neighbours, and you have this fear that is just breeding through here. We have a 29-year-old man who was arrested yesterday and sent to prison for 8 months because he helped organise one of the Freedom Rally protests last month. This is the state of Australia, and it is only getting worse and worse.
And this is what's so incredible about this, because obviously there were political lines, when you talk about the masks and the vaccines and all of this. But I mean, now it's just the Australian government has declared every Australian citizen a criminal. I mean, that's really what this is. Every Australian citizen is now considered a criminal and must be on extended, indefinite house arrest. When are the political lines going to evaporate on this, and all the people that went along with this? When are they going to realize that they're being targeted too, and now they're treated like criminals? Is it starting to happen yet in Australia? Or, I mean, are they just saying, oh, this is good, I am a criminal, I will stay home?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm not seeing much budge or much shift in this area. I mean, I'm actually surprised that not more people are outraged by this. Not more people are waking up to what's going on. You'd think at this point in time it would be strikingly obvious, but unfortunately, there's very little pushback. I mean, there's a group of us Australians who are, and there's a group of politicians in Australia who are certainly waking up. We have one of our politicians, Malcolm Roberts, another one, George Christensen. These are Pauline Hanson, you've got Craig Kelly, all these. There's only 4 out of a handful that I can think of off the top of my head, Tanya Davies, who are actually pushing back against this and working for the Australian people. But unfortunately, everybody is so driven by fear. The government have done a really good job of making everybody live in fear and actually making the choice to just go hide under their beds in their homes. And it was only yesterday, another contributor at Cauldron Pool, where I write, I was speaking to on the phone, and they've gone around to their elderly mother who needed assistance, who needed food brought to their house, and their next door neighbour came out on the front balcony and started filming them and saying, I'm going to call the police on you. And this is just everyday Australians, and this is what's happening. Everybody is living in fear that the police or their next door neighbour or someone's going to come crashing down on them. And people have got families to feed, people have got jobs to keep, livelihoods to keep, and it's this horrible raging war that we have over here right now.
I mean, what is wrong with these police officers? The only way I can even try to gauge this is it's just, okay, accepting the world as it is and just saying, how can I get ahead in this corrupt system? How can I get ahead and have some semblance of freedom in this corrupt system? I'll just become a police officer and do the duties, do the bidding of the bad guys. I mean, I can't really figure how else the police would be willing to go along with this.
Well, I think that maybe the wrong people are joining the police, and I think that it's deliberate. I think that the police need people to join who are just going to do what they tell them to do. Sheep, follow, the master. And I think that it's been happening for a long time. You only have to look at the military and the police around the world to see that the quality of police officer has declined drastically over, modern years. But I actually have some interesting news about the police. I haven't told anybody this, so I'll break it here, I guess. But I had somebody in the police who's currently serving contact me and say that their bosses of the police station have sent out emails to all the police on the streets and have said to the police, you are no longer allowed to use your discretion when it comes to infringing the Australian people, when it comes to charging them, when it comes to taking them to court for anything that is COVID related. So police officers have the power to use discretion, whether they want to find someone or not, and they're able to weigh up the aggravating and mitigating factors of any scenario. But the bosses have actually directed every single police officer on the street in particular areas to not use their discretion. They're actually not allowed to. And what they have to do, and what the email said, is that the police officer, if they want to use discretion and not find someone, they have to contact an officer of the rank of inspector or above and get approval from like the bosses of a police station as to whether they are allowed to not fine an Australian. And you've got the police commissioner, Mick Fuller, who came out yesterday and gave a statement saying to the police officers in New South Wales, go harder, give everybody a ticket. And if you wrongly give an Australian a ticket, I'm going to forgive you for it. There will be no repercussions. So go hard, go fast, go out and fine everyone in Australia. So you can see the terrible combination of the lack of discretion and then the police commissioner telling police, just go for it, guys. Go give everyone in Australia a ticket.
And of course, that discretionary level of the police interaction is so key for them to get rid of that. Of course, that's what they want. That's why they want the Chinese to run the UN so that they can have the world police be the Chinese military who won't question anything and always will do what they're told. Or eventually, which is the ultimate goal, is just replace all human law enforcement with robots, because the robots can just be programmed to do whatever. So this is just incredible. We're going to have some videos coming back with Evelyn Rae. It makes your heart break that this is going on. We're back here with Evelyn Rae from Cauldron Pool. She's down in Australia, a former police officer, by the way. She just broke the news that basically the police are being turned into autonomous drones. At least that's what the Australian government would like. So yeah, when are they just going to bring in the robots to just show up, and they'll have robots that'll have a jab already built in. They'll just hold you down, jab you right there, put a mask over your face. Sounds like a great world that this political establishment is building for us. I want to go to a clip here and see if Evelyn Rae knows anything more about this, because there was a lack of context in the video. But in the video, it's a father hugging his daughter, and then the police come and I guess arrest the father, and then the daughter's like kind of trying to crawl away. Guys, roll clip 9, and then let's try to figure out what's going on here. So again, you got the police standing there right now, a father hugging his daughter. You have the police, and then you have people in medical outfits just waiting to take the daughter away. She's clinging to her father. Clinging. Literally clinging. And then as soon as she lets go, the police move in, throw the guy down, arrest him, and the girl tries to crawl away as the nurses or whoever they are take her away. So not much context here, Evelyn. I know that Cauldron Pool was trying to investigate. What did we find out about this video?
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't find out too much. That's the weird part about it. So it was originally uploaded on TikTok by somebody in Australia. And since it was uploaded, it has been deleted, as well as the account who put it up. But the only information that I could find out was that for some reason, this particular 8-year-old child had to have a medical procedure. We're not sure whether it was COVID related or some other medical sort of procedure. But the father was denied to be present during whatever medical procedure was going on. And that's what it was. I do know that in Australia right now, if you need to go to the doctor, you need to go see a specialist or something like that, you're not allowed to have a support person with you. You're not allowed to bring someone with you because of COVID. You have to be on your own. Whether this is a case like that, and, you know, the dad didn't want to comply, and so the police had to get called, we're unsure. And that's the weird part about all of this, is there's just no information. I have some friends in the Victorian Police, obviously, and I shared the video with them and I asked them, and they had no idea what the context of it was either. So, yeah, we're having no comment at the moment from the police about the incident. The original story has been deleted and removed. But yeah, the only thing I could gather is that for some reason, this particular dad was unable to be there with his daughter for whatever medical procedure or whatever was going on with her. So that's all we know at this stage. It's very traumatizing to watch. You've got to wonder what context would make that okay anyway. What context would make that sort of thing justifiable? The only thing I can think of in my mind that would justify that is if the dad was a pedophile or a molester and they had to remove him. But obviously that's not the case. So I can't think of any other reason which would be morally justifiable to distress and traumatize a child in that way.
It's like a scene out of a scary movie or something. I can't believe this is reality that we're witnessing. Here's a video clip that we do have the context of. 12-year-old girl was in a grocery store not wearing a mask, and so the police showed up, harassed her entire family, and pepper sprayed and arrested her. Here's a short clip from this longer video. Here's a short clip.
Look at all of this. Look at this. No. I just killed my brother on the floor for nothing. Look at this. Look at this. And my sister on the floor for nothing. Look at this.
So there you go. How much longer does this have to go on, Evelyn? Where does this go? Where does this end?
It ends pretty badly, I think, if we continue going down this path. I actually spoke to the mother of this incident, of this 12-year-old girl. I actually spoke to her months ago. I was one of the first to contact her. I was going to blow this story before it came here this week. It's been around for a while, but the mother was that scared of the repercussions of the police. She didn't want me to publish a story about it. And some of the details that she told me over the phone about this particular incident, it traumatized me. I feel incredibly disappointed in the police who were there. I mean, surely at some point in time as a human being, you've got to weigh up the benefits and the consequences of your actions. And unfortunately, I think it was a really bad decision for the police to pepper spray a 12-year-old girl. Surely as a man, like there are men there, like you could just hold her if you needed to quit. You shouldn't even be doing that, but there are ways to do things. And this was an escalation that didn't need to happen, and it's poor policing. But yeah, the mother is that in fear. She didn't want me to publish the story about it. She was so scared what the police would do. And I keep saying this, that in Australia, we've had a pretty good relationship with the police from the beginning till now. And we've had it for good reason, because the police and the community have always generally had, a pretty good relationship. And you get a few people who would disagree because of their one-off incidences and things. But our corruption in the police over here has generally been with criminals, not normal civilians. So for this to happen, it's a bit of a shock to Australians. And I think it's taking them a long time to wake up, because it's just not normal. But as I've said before, we have worked on this relationship with the public for so long, and the long-term consequences of breaking and fracturing that relationship, I don't think the Australian cops know what's coming, because, over here, I could talk to any civilian and get them to help me, and they would want to help me. I've had a civilian save my life before. I was almost killed in an alleyway before, and no one could find me, and a civilian did, and they came and helped me when I was on duty. That's not going to happen anymore if the police continue to break down these relationships with the people. And, I've said it before, the rubber band's going to snap, and I keep going, why hasn't it snapped yet? And I don't understand it. And I think so many of us Australians do not understand why we're not more upset, why we're not more outraged. And I think it's very carefully crafted by our government, just this fear porn right now. And, we have protests going ahead today around the country. for freedom. And yesterday, the guy that, was organizing it was jailed for 8 months. So the police are trying so hard right now to get everybody to comply, and they're doing it with fear and with force. And the fracture is going to be so great. I don't know if it's going to be repaired in our lifetime. And I don't think that the police are going to enjoy where this is going to end. And they've got to start thinking about that when they move forward. What's more important, the relationship with the people who you're supposed to serve, or adhering to this tyrannical, autocratic government that we have right now?
It's like being in a free fall and there's just nothing to grab onto. And you just you're falling and you just know, okay, till I hit the pavement, this is my destiny. You reach, you try to grab, you try to slow. It's free fall until you hit the ground and it goes splat. And I mean, again, when they're doing this to kids, I mean, the videos that are coming out, like you said, how has the rubber band not snapped? And I'm just afraid that it's going to get to such a bad point where, I mean, the only reasonable response is people are going to deem as violence. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know how else this ends, because I mean, that's what's being happened to these people. I mean, we're talking about pepper spraying 12-year-olds, coming to your house, forcing you to take an experimental vaccine, forcing you to wear a face muzzle, breathe in your own carbon dioxide and all the bacteria that builds up on it. I mean, that's a violent assault on us. So that's what I'm afraid of in Australia, but I guess that's why the tyranny's so bad there. You guys turned your guns in a couple years back.
Yeah, we did. A while back with John Howard, one of our prime ministers, and that's the thing. We are unarmed over here, and you can get guns over here, but it's a really difficult process, and it isn't as easy as it would be in other countries. So we're flying over here completely, unarmed and conditioned by our government to just bend at the knee and do exactly what they want, and they just put so much fear in us. And I think we all got to just start sticking together as neighbours, and that's the only way we can kind of overcome this.
But of course they have us so politically divided, we can't even do that. Evelyn, do 5 more minutes if you can. All right, I've got Evelyn right here for 5 more minutes. I wanted to just comment on something else that she saw on her, I guess it's her iPhone. But first, though, I want to, because it all ties into this, I want to play this clip of Mark Zuckerberg in clip 14. This is what the New World Order has planned for you. And it appears that they want to make it seem like a fun thing for you to be trapped in a prison all your life. But hey, it's okay. You'll be in a virtual heaven. Here it is.
There's our office meetings right there. That's the future of our office meetings. Así nos vamos a reunir en el futuro.
That in 5 years from now, people are going to be able to live where they want and work from wherever they want.
Yeah, right.
But are going to be able to feel present as if they're together when they're doing that.
Do you have a favorite feature to use in here?
Yeah.
Something that you think is very cool?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of things that I really like. I mean, one is that you can just dynamically change the layout of the room. So, here, we're in a room layout that's designed for conversation. I can switch us really quickly. So now we're in a presentation setting.
So they're conquering the planet. They're turning into a prison planet. But then they're going to say, hey, it's okay. You'll have a whole virtual world, kind of like that movie that came out a few years ago. I forget what it was called, based off a book, video game movie, where the world is just totally to hell. Everybody lives in this video game. But you notice that, I guess it was on your iPhone, they have the emojis now with your face mask. So, hey, look, I got a little face mask emoji. It all ties in. They want to destroy the planet Earth, make it a living hell as they conquer it, but then give us this fake digital world to upload ourselves into.
Yeah, and I mean, for all the idiots out there who keep saying, oh, it's just, for now, it's just 2 weeks, just to flatten the curve. It's just because it's such a deadly pandemic. Have a look at all of the measures they're doing to desensitize you to the idea that this is going to be around for a long time. Emojis on phones, that virtual reality. I mean, they're even releasing in Australia dolls for children with masks on them in Big W. I kid you not. And people out there who keep saying, it's just for now, guys, it's just for now. Just wake up, look at the information out there. They're not putting and investing all of this money into these virtual, realities if it's not going to be around for a long time. This is what they want the world to be. This is how they want us to live in the future. And like anything, you desensitize people to it, it becomes normalized. They're trying to normalize this as the new way of life. I mean, Owen, we have lived with this many idiots for as long as I can remember, but we just haven't been tested till now. And now that we've been tested, we're seeing everybody for, you know, their true worth and what they truly think. And it's just shameful. Look at this video. If you can't see this video and see what's going on, then you need to go get some psychiatric help.
And of course, the big lie, oh, you can work from wherever, you can do that. No. They've announced you won't own anything. BlackRock is buying up everything. You won't own property. You won't be able to eat what, no. You'll be in a real world prison, but they'll give you this virtual landscape, a digital world, kind of like, oh, no, it's okay. Look, you know, you're a prisoner on planet Earth, but you're free here. In fact, they just released that movie called Free Guy, and isn't it all about him going into the virtual world? I mean, folks, they're building a prison planet, and Evelyn, this is just so heavy, honestly. It's so heavy. Final comments and where people can follow you.
Yeah, look, I really hope people start just kind of waking up, especially in Australia. Like, stop dobbing on your neighbor. Stop thinking that everybody out there is carrying these massive basketball-sized pathogens that are going to kill you. Have a look at the real stats. Stop living in fear. Have some faith. Trust in God. And you know, restore your humanity. Please, for goodness sakes, Australians, just wake up. Like, wake up, please. Enough is enough. Please follow me on cauldronpool.com for my articles, on Twitter, on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much again, Owen, for having me on and getting our voice out there, because it seems at the moment no one's listening, but we need everybody's help from across the world to raise awareness for this, what's happening in Australia, because it will go elsewhere from here.
Yeah, that's right. It's Australia today, but it'll be here tomorrow, folks. All right, we're in the second hour of the InfoWars War Room here. I'm just going to open up the phone lines because I just